Welcome to the DPM Videocast, where Robin and I give our 5 cents on all things DPM. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ben Aston, founder of the Digital Project Manager.
Hey guys, I'm Robin.
And we're on video and we're live, raw, unedited, so anything could happen today. But in this videocast, we're going to take some time to talk about all the things that we've been publishing over the last little while and going on in our DPM tribe. So keep listening if you want to hear our incredible insights on everything that we've been publishing in the last month. And this podcast or videocast is brought to you by Clarizen, the leader in enterprise project and portfolio management software. Visit clarizen.com to learn more. So actually, I want to start with some new news. We are on Instagram. We were on Instagram before, but now we're on Instagram again. And we don't have many likes and we don't have many followers. So please like us and follow us. And some other big news. Robin, do you speak Spanish?
I do not.
Right.
I should.
Well, no. Well, nor do I. But some people do. And in fact, it is a big deal in the world, apparently. So we launched the Digital Project Manager on Espanol. And for all you viewers who are Spanish speakers, good news, we have published some of the articles in Spanish. However, we're not getting much traffic at the moment on the Spanish site. So tell all your Spanish friends and visit the site in Spanish. That's our news. That's our news segment. That's our new news. Robin, have you got any new news to share?
I have a question about Instagram. Is there like a hashtag we're supposed to use if we have something?
Yes.
Or...
Well, I think we're trying to use hashtag DPM, hashtag project management. So check us out. We're there. So anyway, I want to chat about everything that we've been publishing over the last month. And there's been a lot. There's podcasts, there's a case study, there's articles. So let's talk about them. Robin, what have you been reading on the DPM site?
Well, I'm always reading on the DPM site, and it seems like a lot of times I find like really old articles, and I'm always referencing back at those. But I really want to focus our talk right now about the latest content that came out. So one of the articles was, my secret to finally getting organized, why PMs need personal organization systems, right? And I thought that there was a lot of really great insights in that article. And, Ben, you're not really in the trenches anymore as a PM. What are you doing to stay organized?
I still need to be organized. I might not be organized, but I should be organized. So yeah, my personal organization system is I'm still using a notebook. I write things down in my notebook. I write things down in Evernote. I have an urgent and important Evernote note. And then I really like to use my calendar a lot. I like to schedule things in my calendar to make sure that I make time for it and carve out time for those really important things that don't feel urgent, but that just need to get done.
Like working out?
Pardon?
Like working out or?
I should work out, shouldn't I?
Personal tasks. I do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my goals for the next little while, actually. We talked about goals last time, and I've decided one of my goals is definitely to be less fat. So I'm going to eat less, and I'm not sure I'm going to exercise more, but I'm definitely going to eat less. To become less fat. So watch this space. Watch me shrink as the months go by.
I'm currently in the phase where right now I'm just thinking about working out, and like that's my fitness model. Like I should, and I'm just full of excuses.
But do you know what? I remember reading a study, and it was about people who, instead of exercising, it's the kind of placebo effect of thinking about exercise, if that makes sense. So thinking yourself thinner is actually a thing, and thinking yourself stronger is actually a thing. So if you imagine you do exercise, and you're like doing weights or doing pull-ups or whatever, that can make you stronger.
I'm going to disagree and just say that I should just do pull-ups and not just think about them.
Well, think about them too. It might be more effective.
Think about them and do them. Okay, yeah. But let's get back to the content. So
right, yes.
Ben, you also had a post come out, and
That
it's
is.
about how to be more productive with no effort. So definitely in alignment about thinking about pull-ups versus doing pull-ups. And
Yeah.
so, I want to ask you, like, this is a huge claim. How do you be more productive with no effort? Tell me.
Well, yeah.
What
Well,
about?
maybe you can see a theme emerging here where no effort is kind of a big deal in my life right now. I mean, I have to be honest. It's very difficult to be productive with no effort, but it sounded good in the headline, right? So
Yeah, I'm
it's
intrigued.
intriguing. It's intriguing, and this is I guess it kind of overlaps a bit with the personal organization system. But in this, we kind of talk about how do you be more productive? What are the things you can actually do? Practical things. So we talk about things like turning off notifications, doing the hard stuff, the do it now rule. So if a task takes less than a couple of minutes, to just get on and get that out of the way, and try and shrink that to-do list down so you don't have to rely on the personal organization system. But yeah, if you're struggling to be productive, check out the article. Hopefully there's some good tips in there for you. But are you productive, Robin? What do you find stops you from being more productive?
I think what really halts my productivity is if I don't have a list of things to do, and then I just sort of like spin and get lost in that. Or if I don't have enough things to do, and then I can be very unproductive, which is weird. It's a weird personality.
Yeah, no,
I guess.
it's the sweet spot of busyness. Like you always give someone who's like giving someone something to do who's already busy, they're more likely to get it done than someone who's got nothing to do.
Right, because I always like procrastinate. But speaking of procrastinating, I don't want to stay on this topic for too long. Let's talk about the podcast that came out. So number one, there was, project management and the new business process with Peter. And it's all about like how to win better projects for your agency and how as PMs we can work better with sales. I know that there's like a lot of tension usually between those roles. So, I personally have not listened to that podcast yet, but Ben, as the host of that podcast, what can people look forward to?
Yeah, well, I think it was a really interesting discussion because normally on the podcast, we're talking to project managers. This guy, Peter Levitan, is actually an agency consultant and particularly focused around business development and helping agencies win more business. So he's got an interesting perspective. He's obviously from the business development perspective rather than project management. So he just gives an interesting skew on, and a kind of a different perspective. I think from a project manager's perspective, we're always thinking about, hey, we're kind of scared of new business often because we're thinking, hey, I don't want to win this project that's going to be a hospital pass. Is that a thing in America, a hospital pass?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
A hospital pass, it might be the same in American football, but it's when you get, I say American football, clearly I'm British, but when you get a pass and you pass the ball in such a way that it kind of a high pass, have to get back, a high pass, so you catch it up here, and then someone can hit you and take you out. It's just a bad pass that means you get taken out.
Okay.
Anyway, often from a business development perspective, it can feel like we get these bad passes and that leave us exposed and at risk of injury or failure. And so what he was talking about and what we were talking about in the podcast is how we can kind of mitigate against that, how we can have a better relationship between business development and project management. So have a listen if you're interested in that.
Yeah, I definitely need to listen to that one. I need to have a lot more empathy for that role at times. And then, we had another really interesting topic come out, which is from Alexa Houston, who's an amazing contributor to the Digital Project Manager. And she was talking all about how to run an Agile Sprint. And I feel like this is a great topic because a lot of times, where do you begin? All the information is really overwhelming. And so it sounds like she was able to kind of break it down for everybody about how to implement one immediately at your workplace.
Yeah, and if you're wondering about doing sprints and thinking about how is it actually that you can kind of do this sprint planning, how can you set up your sprint for success? I think you'll find this podcast really useful, and the article that she's written too. I think it's kind of step by step through the process, and yeah, it's kind of really detailed, really practical advice. So check it out.
Great. Cool. And then, talking about a new kind of medium or kind of content type on the website is case studies, right, Ben?
Yeah, so yeah, we wanted to really kind of lift a lot of the kind of feedback that we got when we did it was actually last year when we got some feedback from people on what kind of content do they want. People said, hey, we want you to kind of get into the weeds and give us the lowdown on how you actually deliver projects. So we're introducing this new content type for case studies.
I love it. That's awesome. And I think so many times, you know, as project managers, we don't get to really shape those case studies to our experiences, right, at our workplaces. It's always about getting new business or getting different clients or making the clients look good. So I think that's going to be a really cool aspect to keep an eye on and how to celebrate our craft, right?
Yeah, and I think in this case study as well, what's great is that it's about developing a portal. And I think what we're finding with digital agencies is that the kind of work that we're doing is changing. And yes, we're still doing lots of website development, we're doing marketing campaigns, but as our clients are becoming more sophisticated, the kind of asks that we're being presented with are evolving and changing. So this case study for a portal build might not be something that you're doing right now, but it might be something that you come across in the next year or so. So yeah, check it out.
Yeah, if not, bookmark it and come back later when that project hits.
Definitely.
So then, you know, I think the final thing we wanted to kind of discuss and bring up with all of you is tools.
Yeah, and tools, everyone, again, one of the things that we, in our kind of survey was people wanted to know what are the kind of latest and greatest tools. And our tool of the month this month is Synergist. And it's kind of one tool to rule them all. It gives you a CRM, which is great for business development and goes right the way through to invoicing and everything project management in between. So it includes resourcing, it includes task management, and because it's all in one system, the kind of tracking of projects and reconciling where you are with budgets and timelines and things is all really easy. So check out Synergist. And we also published a few other articles on ALM tools. I don't know if you guys know what ALM tools are. You might not know them as ALM tools, but they're application lifecycle management tools. So that's tools that help you go through from the business case, development, project management, and release. So it's kind of more on the software development side of things, but if you're doing more software orientated projects, you might find that helpful. We've also published recently a couple of posts on requirements, and so we thought we'd publish a tool on requirements tools. I think this is a challenge that agencies often have. It's how do we take a project from a bunch of requirements through to delivery? And requirements tools are tools that can help you do just that. There are tools other than Jira, and so we just wanted to present a few different options there. And then finally, we published a post on bug tracking tools. And I think this is one of the most painful parts of a project. When you're at the end, you want to release it, but you've got all these bugs. So how do you find the bugs? How do you prioritize them? And how do you squash them? Well, you use a bug tracking tool. And again, there are other tools than Jira to do this. So we wanted to present a few different options for those and give you some choice. We've had a chance to look at those tools and evaluate them. So check them out if you're in the market for one of those tools. Now, finally, actually, Robin, before we go, I wanted to ask you, last time you gave us a challenge, and that was all about our career, our goals, what we're going to do for the year. And you started a channel on Slack for the Workbook Challenge. Now, tell me how that's going.
Yeah, so, you know, I find myself professionally to be more accountable if I, you know, tell people I'm going to do something and then I'll do it, right? So this is a very personal and kind of challenging exercise for me to do. And so I've asked anybody who's interested in doing that workbook challenge to join me. And to find it in Slack, just go under Hit Channels and then look for the workbook challenge title. I can't remember the exact hash of it, but please come join. Let's talk about things. I'm just trying to get through the first section of the workbook right now. And, you know, I'm doing a lot of mental thinking about it, but I still keep procrastinating.
That's cool.
Come join me. Let's do it.
Better late than never. Better late than never. If you're interested in furthering your career, yeah, check out the Fueling Your Career workbook and the workbook challenge that Robin is hosting on Slack. I should also give a plug. Our next digital Project Manager School course starts at the beginning of April. We've got a load of students taking the course now, but the next one starts in April. So if you're thinking about joining the course, go to dpmschool.com and check that out if you know that you really need some project management training to kind of lift your PM game up to the next level. But we're going to leave it there. Robin, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great having you with us. And I hope you guys liked today's video cast. We'd love to get some feedback, either here, comment, or join us on Slack and tell us what you think there. But until next time, thanks for watching.
Bye.